Hello guys and girls, you're watching the heroic Archimonde melee guide. Yes, melee. My guides will be covering just the melee aspect of fights, avoiding any mechanics that you don't need to be aware of when you first start off your Hellfire Citadel journey. Let's not waste any more time and get straight into action.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
During phase 1, the main thing that concerns you is to avoid standing in the fire. The fire comes from a blazing orb named Doomfire. You need to kill it as quickly as possible in order to reduce the amount of fire on the ground. The second thing you need to be aware of is a lure of flames. When Archimonde casts it, he lifts all the existing Doomfire in the air and transports it to your current location. At that point, the whole raid usually moves 20 to 30 yards away from your previous location to avoid getting hit by it. It's important to start moving after the fire has lifted and use any available speed buffs such as Stampeding Roar. The last thing that concerns you in phase 1 is to kill the Hellfire Deathcaller quickly, to prevent the tank debuff from stacking too high. When the boss reaches 70%, you will transition into phase 2. During this phase, Archimonde occasionally summons pillars. After several seconds, Hero destroys the pillars and orbs form around them. You can use these orbs to buff everyone within 15 yards with a 40% damage reduction buff by running through one. This buff lasts 35 seconds and you can keep it up during the entirety of phase 2. The most important mechanic of this phase that also persists in the third is Shackled Torment. This mechanic chains 3 players to a shadowy image of themselves. You suffer increasing periodic damage while chained. In order to break the chain, you need to stretch it by running 30 yards away from the shadow. The tricky part is not to break all 3 chains at once. Always keep an eye on your raid frames and don't break your chain if your raid members are below 50% HP. Road Chaos is the laser-like mechanic that puts a debuff on 2 players. One of them is the source of the beam and the other determines the direction of it. Ideally, you should avoid hitting anyone with it by running a few yards away from the rest of your raid and pointing the laser towards an empty part of the room. At 55%, Archimonde summons 2 types of ads: Dreadstalker Hounds and an Overfiend. The Overfiend casts a raid-wide AoE that should be interrupted. The Dreadstalker Hounds teleport to a random player and start casting. They form a small circle around them that damages and silences anyone who doesn't run out before the end of the cast. When Archimonde reaches 40%, you hit phase 3. As I mentioned, Road Chaos and the chains from phase 2 are present here as well. If you are assigned to a nether group, that means you need to pay attention to the nether banish debuff. Archimonde casts it on the current tank and forms a bright green circle around him. All assigned players should run in this circle to get teleported to the nether. While in the nether, you need to kill and interrupt the Voidwalker ad as quickly as possible, while avoiding the damaging zones on the ground. If you are targeted by a Void Star, you should kite it and buy some time for your ranged DPS who are killing it. Demonic Feedback is another important mechanic. When Archimonde casts Demonic Feedback, he damages you and everyone 6 yards around you. The raid should ideally be spread in order to avoid any unnecessary damage. Last but not least, at 25%, Archimonde will cast Reign of Chaos. You should have your raid cooldowns ready for this. You should avoid standing where meteors will impact by not standing in the marked areas on the ground. 3 of these meteors will turn into Infernals. You need to keep the 3 Infernals spread because they heal while close to one another. Killing them quickly is your main priority, because when they reach full energy they cast a raid-wide AoE that will likely wipe you. I hope this will be of use to some of you who are progressing on Archimonde. A video of a full fight where I play my rogue will be linked in the description. Thanks for watching.